Watch this for the next 60 seconds, and you'll start seeing people differently. Not smarter in the way school teaches you. Not smarter in the way books define intelligence. I'm talking about a different kind of smart. The kind that makes people uncomfortable around you. Because you see through them. You see what they're really saying behind their words. You see what they want before they even ask for it. You see the game. While everyone else is still pretending there isn't one, most people go through life asleep. They believe what they hear. They trust what they're told. They expect fairness, honesty, loyalty. And that's exactly why they get played. But there are a few people who wake up. They realize there are rules nobody taught them, patterns nobody explained, truths nobody wants to admit. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 7 mental shifts. If they click in your mind, you won't just think differently. You'll operate differently, and by the end, you won't be naive anymore. You'll be dangerously smart. Let's start with the first shift. This is the foundation. Everything changes the moment you truly understand this. People don't mean what they say. Not because everyone is a liar, but because words are more cheap. Words are performance, words are strategy. Words are tools. People use words to manage how you see them, to avoid conflict, to gain advantage, to get what they want in that moment. Think about it. How many times has someone said, "I'll call you," and never did? How many times has someone said, "I care about you," but their actions said otherwise? How many promises have you heard that dissolved with time? Here's the truth most people avoid. People often mean what they say only in the moment they say it. But moments change, feelings change, priorities shift, and when that happens, words become empty. That's why if you rely on what people say, you'll always be confused. But if you watch what people do, you'll never be surprised again. Because behavior doesn't lie, patterns don't lie, consistency doesn't lie. When someone shows up for you repeatedly, that's truth. When someone disappears when it matters, and that's truth. When someone keeps choosing themselves over you, that's truth. Not their words, their actions. Once you internalize this, something powerful happens. You stop chasing explanations. You stop believing excuses. You stop getting emotionally manipulated by conversations. Because most manipulation happens through words. Promises, justifications, emotional appeals, empty reassurance. And once you stop believing words blindly, those tactics stop working on you. You don't argue, you observe. You don't react, you calculate. And that's when people realize they can't play you anymore. Now let's go deeper. Because understanding behavior isn't enough. You also need to understand why people behave the way they do. That brings us to the second shift. Everyone operates from self-interest. Everyone. No exceptions. Now before you resist this, understand it properly. This doesn't mean people are evil. This doesn't mean kindness is fake. It means something much more fundamental. At the core of every decision, there is always a question. What do I gain from this? Even when people are kind, they gain something. Maybe it's feeling like a good person, avoiding guilt, building reputation, creating future leverage, emotional satisfaction. But there is always a return, always. Human beings are wired for survival. And survival means prioritizing yourself, consciously or unconsciously. Once you see this, everything becomes predictable. You stop asking, why did they do that to me? And you start asking, what did they gain from doing that? That one question will answer almost everything. Think about someone who disappointed you. Now look at it again, without emotion. What did they gain by choosing themselves? What did they risk by choosing you? When you do the math honestly, their decision makes sense, not emotionally, but logically. And this realization changes you. You stop taking things personally. You stop expecting people to sacrifice for you without reason. You stop assuming loyalty is automatic. Instead, you understand that loyalty exists where interests align and disappears when they don't. That's not negativity, that's clarity. And here's the powerful part. When you accept that everyone acts from self-interest, you stop feeling guilty for prioritizing yourself. You stop overgiving to people who wouldn't do the same. You stop explaining your boundaries because you realize something most people never do. Everyone else is already choosing themselves. They're just not honest about it. And once you see both of these shifts clearly, words are unreliable, behavior reveals truth, self-interest drives decisions. You stop being confused by people. You start reading them, and that's the beginning of becoming dangerously smart. The third shift is where most people break, because it destroys something they've believed their entire life. Here it is, the world is not fair, and it never was. From childhood you were taught, work hard, be good, do the right thing, and things will work out. But reality doesn't operate like that. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards visibility, leverage, timing, positioning. You've seen it. People less skilled getting ahead, people with connections winning, people taking shortcuts and still succeeding. And you told yourself, that's not fair. Exactly, that's the point. It's not supposed to be fair. Because the system doesn't reward fairness, it rewards results. Once you accept this, something changes inside you. You stop waiting. You stop hoping your effort will be noticed. You stop believing merit alone is enough. Instead, you start asking, who sees my work? Who has influence here? Where is the leverage? What actually gets rewarded? You stop playing the game you were taught and start playing the game that actually exists. And that's when you start winning. Now here's where it gets even more uncomfortable. The fourth shift. The rules are not the same for everyone. There are two systems. One for the average person, one for people with power. The average person must follow rules. Be on time, be polite, follow procedures, stay in line. But people with power, they bend rules, they rewrite rules. Sometimes they ignore them completely. And most of the time, nothing happens to them. Why? Because rules are enforced based on power, not fairness. Money, influence, connections, these change consequences. This doesn't mean you become reckless. It means you become aware. You stop thinking, everyone is playing by the same rules, because they're not. And once you see that, you stop limiting yourself unnecessarily. You stop being the only one playing safe in a game where others are playing strategically. Good, now the fifth shift. And this one cuts deep. Not everyone close to you is on your side. In fact, the people most capable of hurting you are the ones closest to you. Because they have access to your thoughts, your weaknesses, your blind spots. Enemies don't always look like enemies. They look like friends, one colleagues, one supporters. They smile. They agree, they stay close. But underneath, they're watching, comparing, competing, waiting. This doesn't mean everyone is against you, but it means you must stop assuming everyone is for you. Watch reactions. Do they celebrate your wins or downplay them? Do they support you when it's inconvenient or only when it's easy? Do they protect your name or gossip behind your back? Because loyalty is not words, it's behavior under pressure. Once you see this clearly, you become selective. Not paranoid, but intentional. And that alone protects you from most betrayal. Now we reach the shifts that separate observers from players. The sixth shift. Weakness attracts attack. The world will tell you, be vulnerable, open up, show your struggles, and in the right environment. That's true, but in the wrong environment, it's dangerous. Because not everyone is kind. Some people are strategic. And when you reveal your insecurities, you reveal your pressure points. You show people exactly where to hit you. That doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become selective. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Strength in public protects you. Vulnerability in private heals you. Confuse the two, and you suffer for it. And now the final shift, the one that ties everything together. You are in a game, whether you accept it or not. You might say, I don't play games. But that doesn't matter, because other people do. They are positioning themselves, building alliances, managing perception, competing strategically. And if you're not doing the same, you're not neutral, you're losing. Because in every environment, work, relationships, life, there are players, and there are pieces. If you're not thinking strategically, you're being moved by someone who is. That's the truth. And once you accept it, everything changes. You become intentional. You think ahead. You move with awareness, not manipulation, not evil, but strategy. You become both. The fox who sees traps, the lion and who cannot be easily attacked. Now you've seen all 7 shifts. Words don't equal truth. Behavior reveals intent. Self-interest drives decisions. The world is not fair. Rules are not equal. Trust must be earned. Weakness must be protected. Life is a game. You see it now. And once you see it, you can't go back. So here's the real question. Are you going to keep living the same way, knowing what you now know, or are you going to change how you move? Look at your life honestly. Who are you trusting blindly? Where are you expecting fairness? Where are you being passive in a competitive space? Where are you revealing too much? To the wrong people? Answer that, and you'll know exactly what to fix. If this shifted your mindset, how as I see it now, because the moment you see clearly is the moment you stop being controlled and start becoming dangerous. Not dangerous to others, dangerous to manipulation, dangerous to deception, dangerous to the system that benefits from your ignorance. And if you're ready to go even deeper, watch the next video, because this is just the beginning.